You're listening to episode 27 of the Wealthy Happy Soul podcast, Keep Rowing. Welcome to the Wealthy Happy Soul podcast, a show for high achievers who are ready to start enjoying the life they've worked so hard to create. Join me, your host and certified life coach, Dr. Tangi, to learn how to start infusing the dedication you have for your career into living a truly fulfilling life. If you're ready to finally gain the happiness your soul has been longing for, this podcast is for you. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am so happy that you are here. And today's episode is going to be a bit intimate, maybe a little vulnerable, as I give you a peek into what real-time success alignment looks like. I know for me, when I reach a place of success alignment in a particular area, I expect to stay there forever, even though I've seen over and over and over again in my life how things change. And as I change, the things that I do and the things around me and the way I look at the world might start to change as well. So this week, I began a year-long certification program for coaches through the Conscious Leadership Group, whose purpose is to support the expansion of conscious leadership in the world. And they train people who've already been trained as coaches to do that within a certain framework. And when I tell you that my mind is blown and I still have 358 days left of the program, I don't even know what's happening. But what I know is that something significant and real, something intense, some sort of transformation is imminent. And it kind of has me freaking out a little bit. And if I were to give you a glimpse of myself in this moment so that you could really know me, what I would say is that I know there is a huge personal transformation on the horizon for me. I know that I won't be able to recognize parts of myself a year from now. I know that the way I see the world and think about the world is going to be drastically different. And I already know it's going to affect my business and potentially this podcast. And lately, I've been in such a deep state of contemplation that I haven't really felt much like saying much of anything. And that makes me a little sad. And it also makes me a little fearful because since September, this podcast has been my way of sharing my expertise. And I question how I can continue to do that in the waves of transformation that lay ahead when I may not always feel like an expert, when I may say the wrong thing or get it wrong or say it in the wrong way. And a part of me is really scared because I can't really see what's on the other side of all of this. And I really like feeling safe, and I like feeling like I know what's happening in the world, especially in my world. I like feeling like I know what's real for me and feeling like I actually have a clue. And part of my commitment for the year in being a part of this certification program, a part of this group, is that there is a daily meditation commitment. And so my meditation yesterday, I was just thinking about something that came up, and that's a whole different podcast for a different day. Just the power of meditation and how much more in tune with yourself and, all the things that you could see that you didn't see before and all the things that you could hear that you really hadn't heard before. But anyway, so what came up for me yesterday was I just kept hearing over and over, relax. This is all just a fantasy. Relax. This is all just a fantasy. Relax. This is all just a fantasy, like over and over and over and over again. And what I make from that and the experience I've had over the past week, I guess like the three major nuggets I've been able to come up with is that number one, I should relax a little bit, because what I'm finding is being so serious all the time being so serious about having to know what the next step is, what next year is going to look like, being so serious about, am I doing it right? Being so serious about it all being so serious is that serious is really starting to block my blessings. And the more I feel myself relaxing around how quote unquote serious my life is, my business is, whatever the issue is, the more I feel myself loosening up the grip and allowing flow to take place. And flow is unpredictable. Flow isn't always packaged up in a neat box. But what I'm learning is that flow takes you to where you need to go next. The second thing I'm recognizing is, yes, I should relax because I do have all the time in the world, and we've talked about this on a prior podcast, but I have all the time in the world to figure this out. This isn't something that I'm going to figure out in a day. That's why a life lasts for a lifetime, because you're always in this process of quote unquote trying to figure it out, trying to figure life out, trying to figure yourself out, trying to figure other people out, trying to figure your money out, trying to figure everything out. And I think I just want to say to myself right now, relax. You have all the time in the world to figure this out. Like there's no hurry to get anywhere. And lastly, what I'm recognizing most of all is that I am free to be right now. And most of my life has been spent chasing freedom, going to medical school because I thought it would make me feel free in a particular type of way, getting so entrenched in coaching because I felt like it freed my mind up in a particular way, starting my own coaching business because in my mind, I'm once again kind of chasing this freedom that I feel like having a business at a particular point will give me. And what I'm starting to see in myself is that as much as I chase freedom, and I'm talking about myself a lot in this podcast, but only because I know that it relates to so many of you guys as well. But as much as I chase freedom and dedicate my life in the pursuit of freedom, ironically, there is this simultaneous building of entrapments if you're not really careful. Meaning, a person can be in pursuit of freedom, trying to escape one thing only to become ensnared and trapped by the very thing that they're building, if that makes any sense. And what I'm trying to do is bring myself back to this present moment, to right now, and realizing that I'm as free as I'll ever be. I've always been this free. I'm always going to be this free. And I feel like that also helps to loosen up this grip, this seriousness, this thing inside of me that tends to block flow and inspiration and blessings in my life. And so really, I understand it's kind of messy, but that's all I really wanted to say this week. And encourage everybody in their pursuit of success alignment and freedom and being all you can be to just keep rowing, just keep going. And until next week, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Thank you for listening to the Wealthy Happy Soul podcast. If you want to dive deeper into alignment and start cultivating your inner wealth, head on over to drtangi.com.